Hi guys, I'm Steph. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I am super excited to finally be bringing you my birthday and holiday haul update. So if you want to see that haul video, I will link it down below. Not everything from that video is going to be updated in this video because I haven't had a chance to go through all the palettes and everything, but this is the majority of stuff, so I wanted to share my thoughts with you. And if you're wondering about any of those products that aren't in this update, don't worry, I will be reviewing them eventually on my channel. It just takes me a little bit of time, especially to get through all those eyeshadow palettes, but I'm very excited to show you what I have been testing out for the last month and to give you my thoughts on all of them. To start off with, I have the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer, which I am wearing today. This primer claims to be smoothing and pore perfecting. I do find that to be the case. I will say it is a very smoothing, pore filling primer, but it is also just feels very oily, which makes a lot of sense because it has rosehip and argan oil in it. So as someone with oily skin, I'm not sure it really is the best combination for me. I just found that sometimes, depending on the foundation, it kind of just like slicked off my face. I really had to put this on and wait 10 minutes before I went in with foundation just because I wanted to make sure it had time to absorb into the skin, which is kind of an issue if you're in the morning trying to rush through things. I had tested this out at a counter with the Naked Skin and the Naked Skin powder, and I thought like it was such an amazing combination. But now that I have all these products and I tested them out, like they just did not, like this goes so badly with the Urban Decay Naked Skin. It was atrocious. And even on some of the moisturizers I used, I found that this would pill up. Today I'm wearing it and I don't seem to be having an issue. I'm wearing the Physicians Formula foundation with it, and that's working really well so far. So I don't love this primer. I'm really happy I got it in the half size and not the full size, but like I'm kind of wish I hadn't spent the money on it. While we're on Urban Decay, I also got the Naked Light. This is the Naked Skin Ultra Definition Pressed Finishing Powder, and this is what it looks like. Mine is like, okay, so it comes up, it has this little pad underneath. When I got it, it didn't lift up. I don't know, it was like a whole big mess, but that's neither here nor there. The packaging is like not the greatest. The mechanism kept like coming out of place, and I had to get my boyfriend to fix it for me like 3 times, and he was like, what do you keep doing that? It keeps breaking. And I'm like, I don't know. But so packaging was like a huge no-no. As for the powder, it was decent. It does the job. But when I looked at the amount, I couldn't believe it. This has 7.4 grams of powder. And it is quite an expensive product. I was just surprised by how little powder actually came in this. To compare it with the pressed powder from the drugstore, this is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and this has 14 grams of product in it. This is almost double the Urban Decay, so you are really not getting a lot of product in here, which is kind of upsetting, and I did not realize that when I purchased it initially. One thing I did love from Urban Decay was a free gift with purchase, was the Backtalk Comfort Matte. I love this lipstick. I believe I put it in my March favorite, so I'll link that video down below if you want to hear more thoughts, and I believe I'm wearing it in that video so you can see it, but this is it here. It's just such a beautiful color. It's like the best. Oh, I really, really, really like this. So this was like a huge perk. I love this one. Definitely would recommend. At times I did find it a bit drying, even though it is a comfort matte, because I wore it a few days in a row, but usually when I wore it like the first day, I didn't have any issues. So maybe taking a break between wearing this and wearing like a more moisturizing lip product would be a good idea, but I really, really, really like this. I do have one more thing from Urban Decay. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. This is like super duper drying. So I found that if I went in with a facial oil and I would kind of put that under my eye and then go in with this, it worked out very nicely, but on its own I just found it so drying, and I feel like it aged my under eyes a lot. So I would recommend going in with a facial oil underneath, but other than that, the coverage is amazing. And like I said, with it drying, it does dry down rather quickly, so don't take your time when waiting to blend it out. I had a lot from Tarte, so to get into that, I had this bronzer in Hotel Heiress, and it came as a duo with this highlighter in Exposed. So just to show you that. So I am wearing the bronzer on my cheeks today. This is not that highlight. I really do like this highlight. It's actually quite shimmery, and as you can see, like there definitely is like actual sparkles in there. The first time I wore this, I wasn't such a huge fan. It was more glittery than I realized, so just to put that out there, it's definitely a glittery highlight. And the first time I wore it, I felt like it was emphasizing pores I didn't even know were there. But upon further uses, I've come to really like this, and I don't find that to be the case anymore. So that could have just been how I was wearing like my foundation and powder that day. I'm not going to hold it against this highlighter. In the end, I do really like it, and it is something I have continued to reach for. So I would say for the bronzer, I mean, looking in the pan, you can't be surprised. It is a warm tone bronzer, and the first time I applied it, I was like, whoa, this is like really reddish / orange, and the brush does pick up quite a bit of product, so I would definitely make sure to tap it out and use a light hand. But I actually really like the effect of it. I think it gives a really nice sun-kissed look. I feel like overall, I don't know if it's these lights, but I look quite pale right now, but I think I'm really going to love this for the summer. I like more warm tone bronzers in the summer because I just feel like it gives that sun-kissed look, where in the middle of winter it can look a bit odd. I also got the Sephora Duo for my birthday. I am wearing the blush Party on my cheeks today. I think this one blends out so beautifully, and it's just a great neutral shade, and I honestly found it almost like a little dark the first 2 times I used it and thought maybe it was more of like a neutral winter shade, but I do really like it. Also in that Sephora birthday gift came the Tarte Pro Paint in Birthday Suit. I really like this. I have seen a few people declutter it, like they pan the blush, they just decide to declutter this. I really like it. It smells a bit minty, but I think it looks so beautiful. I'm going to do a quick little swatch for you of it, and I just really like it. I think it's such a lovely nude. This is it here next to Backtalk. I really liked it, so I'm excited about this. I didn't find it too drying or anything. I really liked it. Next, I have this 5 stack of blushes, and I overall really like these. The wear time is amazing if you have a full face of foundation, because I tried these a few different ways. I tried it with no makeup on, just putting it on bare cheek, and I found it wore away within a few hours. And then I just did like, instead of foundation, I just used concealer. So I did like concealer under my eyes, on my blemishes, but not every single place on my face. And I found with that, it worked a little bit better. But when you wear it with foundation, like holy moly, these are the 12-hour Amazonian Clay blushes. Like they lasted like 14 hours. Like they lasted so long. But I found it interesting that I needed like the foundation for it to grip onto in order to last that long. But it was amazing with the foundation on. But if you're someone who doesn't wear foundation, I don't think these are long wearing blushes without the foundation base. Just to go through each shade quickly, this was Majesty, and it had this surprising sheen to it. I expected it to be matte, but like I loved it. It is a beautiful glowy peach blush. I really enjoyed this one. Tarte Splendor I found so scary in the pan. It is quite a bright blush, but I found that if you just put it in a little bit, use a light hand and blend it out, it actually blends out so beautifully. I found that Travel almost like melded into my bronzer, so if you don't want like an overly blushy look, this is a beautiful one to go with. Flare has some glitter sparkles in it, but I really did not notice it when I wore it as a blush. And Journey I just really liked all over the cheeks. I thought it was such a beautiful color, and I'm so excited to wear this in the summer. Next, the Too Faced Peach Perfect Powder. I love this. I was a little nervous because loose powders can be kind of messy, and it is. I don't love how it is. Like, yes, it's nice. It has the sifter is covered, so when you open it, product doesn't go everywhere, but there's no like convenient way to get the product out of the sifter without it going everywhere. So it's nice that it doesn't go everywhere when you open it, but you still can't get at it without the product going everywhere. So that's something to keep in mind if you don't like the messiness of loose powders, but this powder looks so beautiful on the skin. It made my skin feel so smooth. I really liked it. It does have a little bit of a peach tinge to it. I didn't find the smell overpowering, but it is definitely there. I thought my skin just looked so beautiful with it, and because of that peachiness, I liked it for under the eyes to brighten it up a little. I really enjoyed this, and I found it did not make my skin look cakey at all. Next, what I wore as my powder today is the RCMA, the original no color powder. It looks like this. It is the worst packaging ever, which I think is like a given. Everyone kind of knows it's not the greatest packaging, so I just tend to dip it into, I actually use the top of the Peach Perfect one as like to pour it into, but I wore it today. I really like it. Everything feels like so smooth and soft. I really don't feel myself getting like overly oily with this or the Peach Perfect one. I really like both these powders. Sometimes with powdering my under eye area, I find like the inner corner here gets kind of like bunches. I don't really know how else to put it. It kind of like all my skin bunches. It just is very dry and dehydrated, and I don't find that this happens with either one of these powders. I really like both of them. I honestly could not pick a favorite. I haven't tested this out because I don't use a lot of flash photography, but I have heard that this gives a lot of flash given that it is a white powder, so maybe think about that if you're thinking about purchasing a new powder. I recommend both of these, but maybe think about your uses in your lifestyle. But so far I'm really liking both of them. Next is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in the shade Wavelength, which is like this midnight color. I tight lined with it and I put it in my lower lash line. I do find that this went on very nicely. It glides on very smoothly, no skipping if you're doing it on your upper lash line area. I really like it. In the waterline, I feel like it does stay somewhat, but it's not like amazing. And I found like putting this on with contacts, I found like it adhered to my contacts almost. That's something to consider if you're a contact wearer. So that was kind of uncomfortable, but I do really like this color, and you can build it up for like a really nice opaqueness, but if you just want like a wash of color, if you use a light hand, it is capable of that too. So I really like that. It makes this product a little bit more versatile. But that being said, I think you can get some amazing eyeliners from the drugstore, and this comes with quite a hefty price tag, and I don't really foresee myself buying any more Marc Jacobs Highliners. I heard such amazing things. I really wanted to test it out, but it's just so pricey for what it is and doesn't perform like so much better than what's at the drugstore. So I just think this isn't something I would recommend. Next is the Fresh Sugar Lip Balm. I already know I love this. It is such an amazing lip balm. It is so moisturizing. It really makes your lips feel moisturized like all day. Like you put it on, and with some lip balms it's like I put it on, within half an hour my lips still feel dry again. With this, that is not the case. It is such an amazing lip balm. It is expensive, but it's so good. It is so good. I did not purchase this myself. It was a gift. I don't know if I would personally spend this much money on a lip balm. I might wait for the holidays when they have their holiday sets and you can try out a few of the different tints for a better price, but it does work amazingly well. Something I was kind of surprised by was the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, and I've heard such amazing things about this. So how it's supposed to go is you put it on before night, and it just sits on your lips all night. When you wake up, you're supposed to have nice hydrated lips. If there's any excess, you wipe it off. Well, there never was any excess. I used a thin layer, I used a thick layer, and I still felt by morning like maybe my lips weren't dried out, but they weren't any more moisturized than just a regular lip balm. I was so excited for this product, and I just felt like it didn't perform the way people talk about it, the way I expected it to. It was just nothing special, which was like such a disappointment because I had such high hopes for this. I don't know if it was just because it was like the winter and my lips were like super duper bad. I'm going to test it. I mean, I'm going to finish it off eventually, but I am going to continue to use it. Now that it's spring, it's not as dry. Maybe we'll see if that makes a difference, if it performs better, but I mean, I want something that's going to perform in like the worst weather conditions, and this just didn't cut it. Like if a lip balm works just as good as this, like what's the point of this? So that was kind of a bust for me. Let me know if you've tried this and had amazing results. Like what did you do that really made it work for you? Because maybe I'm just not applying it correctly. To continue on with lip color, today I'm wearing the Jeffree Star Velour Liquid Lipstick in Sagittarius. First of all, love the color. So happy about it. Really like it. The thing that surprised me about this is when you first put it on, it feels almost like oily. And I was worried about it drying down and mattifying, and I was just like, where's this going? Because it's kind of like slippery and slidey and oily. But then it does dry down, and it dries down so nicely. This is a product I have continued to reach for. I love the color. I think it's so beautiful. I love how it feels on my lips. It's not overly drying. I really like these, and I would consider picking up more shades. So, I mean, I think that tells you that this is a pretty good liquid lipstick. Next, I have the Nudestix Magnetic Matte Lip Color in Burgundy. Since I'm swatching lip colors, I'll just swatch it there. I love this color. The reason why I purchased this is because I saw Jamie Page talking about her favorite fall lip colors, I believe it was, and she was wearing this in the video, and it was so stunning. I was like, I need to purchase that. And I love this color. Like, that has not changed. This color is beautiful. But I did not know a stick could be so drying. My lips, so dry. I don't even think I've had liquid lipsticks that were this drying. It was uncomfortably dry. So I would definitely wear with a lip balm underneath. And that's something to keep in mind. If you can't stand drying lip formulas, then no matter how beautiful the color is, if you're not going to wear it, there's no point in purchasing it. So just be aware that the magnetic matte lip colors are very drying. On to our last category of highlighters. So I picked up 2 Becca highlighters, both the mini versions. I picked up Vanilla Quartz and Moonstone. So this is Vanilla Quartz, and here is Moonstone, which I am wearing on my cheeks today. You can definitely see it. I heard so much about the Becca highlighters. I was expecting like blind from the heavens, like this is going to be an intense highlighter. And when I first applied these, I did not feel that that was the case at all. And I wasn't sure if maybe the minis had a different formulation than the regular ones, or if my expectations were just not what the formula actually was. So when I first used them, I was actually a bit disappointed and stayed away from them for a while. And for these, I noticed that you definitely do have to buff them into your skin, or it can look like a strip. So you really want to blend them out so you don't have just like that strip on your face. But as I'm looking in it now, I do really like it, and I have worn them a few times, but I definitely think of them as more of a natural highlighter than like an absolutely blinding highlight or a glittery highlight. Like they're nice and I like it, but it's nothing like crazy out there. So just to show you on my hand, I feel like you can't even really tell. Vanilla Quartz is here and Moonstone is here, and as you can see, like they have a nice sheen to them, but they're not like overly like whoa in your face, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because if every highlighter in my collection was like that, I would want something that was more like this. So it's nice to have those options of a more natural highlighter, but they're definitely not as blinding as I expected. That being said, I do think they are beautiful, and I would consider picking up another shade if there was something that like really intrigued me. But I do like the idea of picking up the mini, just because I feel like I would never go through a full-size highlight, and especially if you do want multiple shades, I think minis might be the way to go. So for that reason, I'm happy I picked up the minis, but I still like, are these the same formulation as the full size? So if anyone out there has the mini and a full size, could you please let me know, do you feel like they're the same formulation, or that the minis are formulated differently than the full size? Because that is something I would be very interested in. On to our last product, we have the CoverFX Custom Enhancer Drops. I was so excited about these. So what I liked about these is that I found that I could put them on my like foundationed cheeks, and even if I put it on powder after, it didn't bunch up and look gross, which was really nice, because sometimes it's really hard to remember to put on cream and liquid products before you put your powder down. So I appreciate a liquid that can go over powder without like ruining the whole look. I would say I feel like Halo was a bit of a different formulation than the other three. It felt almost more like oily and viscous almost, and I would say like one drop was enough for both cheeks. Like this stuff is intense. You think this is like such a tiny bottle, you're only going to get a few uses out of it. Like, I mean, I'm already here. I used it a few times, but like one drop was enough for both cheeks. Like this stuff is intense. But that being said, if you want to make it more subtle, you just put a little bit of powder over it and you can really tone it down. So I like that you can have a super blinding highlight, or you can make it more intense. I also got a lot of use out of Celestial, and I feel like I can use Moonlight when I'm a bit more tan, but Rose Gold is like never going to be my shade. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to use this. One thing I will say is they go on super blinding to begin with, but I did find like halfway throughout the day, I looked in the mirror and I was like, where did my highlight go? For something that starts off so intense, I just don't think the lasting power is there. And I felt like I needed to reapply it or apply a different highlighter. So if you're going out for a few hours, beautiful to wear. If you're spending like a whole full day in this makeup, not the highlighter I would choose. So that's something to keep in mind. Think about your lifestyle. Like, do you wear your makeup for 12 hours at a time? Do you go to special events where you're only going to be wearing it for a few hours? Like, if I was going on a night out, this is definitely something I would consider wearing, but if I have like a full day of class, this isn't something I'm going to choose because I just feel like by midday it would be gone. There's my review for you. If you like hauls and haul updates, I'm going to be putting up another haul shortly, so make sure you subscribe so you can make sure you're notified when that happens. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, a great night wherever you are. Bye.